true. There is Jewish
people.
I
can give it.
And there's not, and it's not required.
I can give the actual animal identity, right? Ethnic identity. Most people that are born in a place that is dominated by one culture, right, which is now confused with nationality at this point, are always identified by that, just whether they immigrate somewhere European descent, you're born in China, you are raised as a Chinese person with surrounded by also like you are culturally Chinese. You know enough about Chinese culture that you could say, I'm Chinese. I was born in China. I was raised in China. I understand Chinese culture and I participate in it, right? So that's kind of the difference. And religion being one entrance point to that is one thing. People call me Jewish all the time simply because I've had enough people in my life that are Jewish and influences in my life that are Jewish that I somehow come across as Jewish to a lot of people, right? I'm not Jewish by birth. I'm technically not Jewish by culture because I live in the U.S. and I never, actually participated religiously, but I've been to enough Seders and I got enough friends that people detect that culture on me, right? So these are all it's very permeable. People don't realize, but the thing that is impermeable is that if you are born in a place and assign that identity at birth, or if you are born into a culture and assign that identity at birth, you really can't escape it no matter how much you change your life, right? So something like in the Holocaust where, someone might have a Jewish father but not a Jewish mother, but it's still an identity that would be assigned to them by outsiders, by the German people, and they wouldn't be able to escape it. So you have to take all of that into account too.
Damn right.
Oh, I love it. Reverend Scott driving us wild and driving us crazy. Rock and roll all night. Party every day. No King's Day today. Thank you, Reverend Scott.
Hey, no problem.
For keeping the ship straight and true. Even with all the glitches. And let's say, if you're in the audience. Go ahead.
And Cora gave us quite a...
Condone it. And I don't think Black Lives Matter leaders are saying that they condone it. They're just saying that they empathize and understand the frustrations of people.
Shots. I just don't. So, these people, like I said, are losers in life. They have no life, no friends, nothing going for them.
So, yeah, boot. And in normal times, CBS management would have brushed it off. But CBS is owned by Paramount Global, which was in the midst of seeking a merger with Skydance Media and needed approval from the Federal Communications Commission. Paramount's controlling shareholder, Sherry Redstone, stood to make hundreds of millions if the deal went through. Paramount ultimately settled the suit for $16 million in a move that veteran correspondent Dan Rather termed, quote, a sellout to extortion by the president. Bill Owens, the respected executive producer of 60 Minutes, and Wendy McMahon, the chief of CBS News, both had earlier resigned from their jobs because of corporate pressure to shape the news to Trump's sensibilities. The Fourth Estate is so called because it is a key pillar of democracy. When corporations take it over and put profit ahead of accurate, brave, and truthful reporting, the whole edifice trembles.
All right. Any comment?
Well, I had once. She's almost like Nostradamus because we all watched after that in the last so many months here or whatever. Exactly that play. Silence in the media. And Jimmy Kimmel and Paramount she mentioned. And so, yeah, it's, so it's definitely, she had that degree of holding together the Constitution kind of a mindset, holding together, like I said, that fourth pillar, I'll call it. But anyway, so yeah, she was obviously, history says, and will continue to say, those are all valid points again. And I go back to the idea that, again, so therefore, whether it be Liz Cheney or Walz, somebody else to team up that could bring that strength that America seems to love with Donald Trump. That strength, that take charge, take a stance, and roll out. And and who's doing it matters. Everybody wouldn't be able to do it. And that's why that point about if there's anything to learn up to this point moving forward, it's, again, assuming we still, whatever's going to happen in a couple of years or next time there's another presidential election, it's true, yes.
Spirit, did you want to speak?
No, it's too late. I wanted to speak in the last section. That's all. And I put my comment in the chat so y'all can read it.
So what day is this? That was October the 5th. Are we going into like October 6th, 7th, 8th?
I think we've just did October 7th because she mentioned.
Okay. We started with 5th. We ended with 7th.
We're on October 7th. Yeah, 29 days to the election.
Okay.
I will say it's one thing to have Liz Cheney align with you. It's another thing to trot her out on campaign stops. That's what I will. And to somebody like me, who's a staunch Democrat and extremely anti-war, the Cheneys are the enemy, full stop. And have been. So there was an insult to have them out there. It's one thing to be like, hey, she's endorsing me, and then Liz Cheney does her own thing somewhere else.
But what was that
campaign stop is an insult to everybody who has been staunchly against what the Republicans have been doing for decades.
What was that part when she said probably vote for you, and that she would probably vote for me?
I picked that too.
What? Probably. And you on my campaign, and I'm going to bring you out. I'm with you, Scotty. I'm with you.
Lack of support for her from the base.
I'm telling you, she seemed like she had a whole bunch of daggers at her at every hand.
Exactly.
Every hand. I mean, front, back, side, left, what?
She was in an unwinnable situation with regard to Israel. Recall that Biden put forward probably the same hostage plan as Trump just put forward with Netanyahu. Netanyahu didn't want Kamala to win, let alone Biden to win again. So many have argued that he kept prosecuting this war in the face of this big election because he knew it was going to hurt the Democrats. And going back to Walz, when she didn't pick Shapiro, I think she should have picked Shapiro if nothing more than to appease the Zionist Israeli politicians in this country for that reason alone. I mean, look what they did to Harvard in taking out Claudine Gay.
Can we go back? Wait, we're about to. Are we gonna be raw?
What's that?
I was just a little concerned because it seemed like you were transitioning.
No. I'm going to stay with that talking point, but so she definitely did not have the Hawks in her corner. Liz Cheney was obviously, I didn't understand that whole campaign either. Dick Cheney obviously was the brains behind the Bush presidency, so you saw in him, kind of the architect of all of that hawkish 8 years that got us into Iraq and so forth. But she was in an unwinnable situation with the time she had, the messaging, the war was in full bloom. I mean, I've heard it argued in rooms before that she lost the Israeli or the Jewish vote in Pennsylvania, which was a heavy swing state.
I don't know if that's true.
That would be very surprising.
Abby, who we know in this room.
No, she's a fucking certified liar.
Okay,
And she
maybe
has
she was
an
lying.
agenda. Yeah,
Right.
she's a
Okay.
fucking liar.
Okay, she claims that they voted.
Yeah,
Trump's
her
right.
and her right-wing proto-Zionist crazy MFs, voted for Trump. Sorry for the win.
All right, can we get back?
Anyway, go ahead. I'll let somebody else.
Yeah, I would personally love to hear. Love to see some research or something about if Cheney helped at all, because I don't know. And it put us in the position of having to defend wars. Like, we gotta be like, Iraq, I guess is fine.
Yeah, you got that on the brink, but at the same time, Cheney is there to talk about women's rights, and they were focused on, abortions and that.
Wait, well, Cheney is anti-abortion, so she couldn't have been there to talk about women's rights.
What was she doing?
The integrity of the institution.
Right. That's right. It was basically the whole system of our governance was upended by Trump.
So wait a minute. You bring an anti-abortion person on. Okay, whatever. Okay.
This is what I'm saying.
See, that's the dilemma.
It depressed the votes of the people who would naturally be aligned. They'd be like, you know what? You're trotting out the Cheneys. It doesn't bring the motivation out to support them. People do have long memories who've been around for.
That's the whole point. I was just going to say, she had to appease the Democratic Party and win the whole election. That's the dilemma she had, and didn't have the backing really of the Democratic Party. But now you got to go out here and win this general election.
What do you mean?
And
Didn't have the backing of the Democrats.
Liz Cheney, we just talked about it. She was like, "Well, I may vote for you." What?
Cheney is a Republican.
No, my bad. But I'm saying, okay, but let me just bolster with this idea of the lack of support. Like, okay, I hear you. We just heard the clip that she just read on that date, and this idea, well, maybe I will. So when you're running, who's backing you is a real thought in Kamala's head. Like, where is the real support? I'm cajoling that whole thing with Waltz. Okay, and so now I'm sure, as Kamala's writing this book, she's like, let me just get all this out here, because you know what? Let me just highlight whatever I can. It is what it is, because at the end of the day, she's got her point of view of life, and it shines light on what the real circumstance was. I mean, she was running for president, but on a Democratic ticket, and so I think that's the value of the book, the value of understanding.
Cheney, they were on their country over party tour, and they were defending democracy, but it turns out nobody cares about democracy. Most people don't care about democracy. Democracy is in a bad moment. It's in an unpopular moment. Nobody thinks it's worth fighting for. Well, now they do, because they're getting sent to the gulag. But before the election, it just wasn't.
Hello, everyone.
This big ass motherfucker got your name in his mouth.
Hey. This is recording. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Check your battery.
I think if we try to reconstruct from public information the thinking of Harris' campaign at the time, is that they were going after never Trumpers, right? Which Liz Cheney is highly favored among never Trumpers, right? Liz Cheney had a high favorability rating among Democrats, even like something like 60%. And they were specifically going after the voters of another hawk, which was Nikki Haley, which were in
battleground states in Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. Now, there are some polls with hindsight that show a few percentage slip due to campaigns with Cheney in those battleground states, right, within the Democrats. But again, like, I don't trust those polls. It's extremely hard to detangle that event from all other events and everything else going on, right? So I wouldn't trust those things. But that's hindsight, right? They were going after Nikki Haley voters, and that rationale makes sense at the time. With hindsight, I don't know. I'm not sure, but I can see why they thought it's a good idea. I still think it's a good idea.
Oh, you think that bringing Cheney was a good idea and that it actually boosted her numbers? Is that what you said?
Well, again, we don't have data to support it either way, in my opinion, right?
Oh, okay.
But, and again, that's hindsight. If we're trying to, like, we can't speak with hindsight and criticize decisions, but that would be fair to IRS, right? They were making decisions at the time without access to future what will happen, right? And they were boxed in, as somebody else said previously, and I put it in the chat, they're boxed in with Cheney due to Palestine, right? So being boxed in and trying to recruit voters in battleground states, right, in Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, one option was to go after voters that voted for Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley is a hawk, right? Liz Cheney is a hawk. Liz Cheney is a never-Trumper, head of J6 committee, etc., right? So it made sense. Like, it just makes sense to do this.
I hear that pushback.
Yeah, the fair criticism is it's going to depress turnout on the left wing of the party, which is fair. But the left wing of the party, their thinking would be that was already depressed due to Palestine.
All right, let me just say there are ways you could have done both. Meaning, you throw Liz Cheney out to the Fox Newses and press tours or whatever, or do her own something. Sorry, I'm in the campaign. I'm in the March start.
It sounds great.
I know it. And not bring her around on tour, which it's an insult to people who have been railing against the fucking Republicans for the last several decades. I cannot tell you how disgusted I was. I still voted for Kamala, but however, the optics are terrible. Yeah. And if you want to lose any more people who are anti-war hawks, then you bring Liz Cheney out there and Nikki Haley. These aren't good people. They vote 90% of the time with every single Republican policy, from social issues to foreign international issues.
Yeah. So Spirit is pretty much saying he's not saying not to use them to your advantage. However, don't bring them out on the tour. They shouldn't be like in person with you. Have them go out, speak to to that particular crowd, to that group. I think that's all. I think that's fair.
Yeah, that's it.
That's all, Neil. Does that make sense?
I mean, sure. Like, I have similar feelings, but like my feelings do not influence and I agree with Spirit on everything he said on, like, that's exactly matches my personal opinion on Cheney, right? I think he's a war criminal. And I think it does alienate a lot of the left. But like, if I'm trying to, from like pieces of public information, reconstruct the Harris's thinking, I agree that we can criticize it with hindsight, right? Based on personal policy preferences and dislike, well-reasoned dislike of those people. But I'm sorry, it's a decision they made. It's at the time well-reasoned decision. I don't think there is a conclusive proof that even today, with the benefit of hindsight, it's not a well-reasoned decision. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can save my critique for later, for tomorrow, and for whenever we end this. At the end of the day, if you're going to be a leader, you're going to have to show leadership. And that means that you're going to have to make decisions regardless of what direction other people are trying to put you in. And that's a leader, and that's what the people are looking for. So right now, I cannot critique her because I don't feel like she's still giving me the fullness of things. I feel like she's going through and she's giving us, how things, the optics of things, and how she's viewing them, and I think they're all valid. But so far as in what she's actually feeling and these days and the emotion behind it, that's not there for me. So I can't really judge on that particular or critique her fully. I can only critique her from the professional side of things. And from the professional side of things, I think she could have been a stronger leader. And regarding to the fact, if I feel some type of way, and I keep saying that it doesn't seem like these people have my best interest, then that's fine. I'm going to start leading. I'm going to take over, because clearly what you all are doing is not working. And that, to me, would have been a stronger leader. Somebody else wanted to say something? I heard a microphone move.
Yeah, I was just curious, why the book and why the book now? And what is she trying to accomplish with recapping her assessment?
Well, some people have said, it's her time to tell her story, and that's why I'm saying I would have liked to receive more of the personable side of her if you're going to tell your story. But as I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about it, she's telling it from still a professional side of things. So she's saying, no, she's not going to run for anything, but the reason why you would reserve yourself from going to outside of professional and tapping into the personal is if in fact you plan on doing something additional in the future.
I mean, she has to do something as a human being. She got to stay alive doing something. So I think sometimes you just want to tell your story just to whoever judges it, however they judge it, but just how life looked from that particular point of view at that particular time. And because I'm sure she knows the media, nobody's going to tell it the way she would tell it, just highlighting whatever point she wants to highlight,
Yeah, well, given what's happened with this current administration, the optics of Kamala running, first black woman candidate, second woman candidate to run, my thoughts are this nation is not reconciling or in even a way giving open forum to, we're pivoting backward. We have the Supreme Court engaging in more debate over the Civil Rights and Voting Rights Act. We're seeing the gerrymandering going on. They're talking about Republican seats not ever going Democrat or left again. California's got a referendum to allow us to change the rules with regard to that. So the battleground to me is the right doesn't see the democratic process is working in their favor going forward in the future because of the shift in demographics, the shift in what tomorrow's voter looks like, the opinions they have. And that right-wing reactionary response is to capture power, by any means necessary, and change the game if you can't change the message, and the message doesn't win the voters. So I think that's the challenge going forward, regardless of who attempts to win the next election in 3 years. Oh man.
Thanks. Are we playing any more of the book, or are we done for the day?
Maybe we play one more chapter and then that's it. Y'all can do your discussion. Because I guess people did have questions. That was that young lady that asked a question.
Sarah.
Yeah, that was earlier in the book. But maybe y'all could talk about that if she's still here. Let me go ahead and play that. October 8th, 28 days to the election. Everything about my appearance on The View was going well until it wasn't. I've been on the show about 5 times before. Some of the hosts I knew from outside the studio. Whoopi Goldberg and I bonded over our shared ties to the Bay Area. Sunny Hostin I knew as a lawyer. She had been a prosecutor, like me. Anna Navarro, a Republican, I debated on immigration during the Bush years, but we aligned on many other issues. All the hosts are thoughtful women of different political stripes, but all had been outspoken about the dangers presented by Donald Trump. He refused to go on the show and face their questioning. I had 3 interviews scheduled that day, one with Howard Stern and one with Stephen Colbert. Although this one, morning TV, a largely female audience, was friendly ground, my team and I had prepared, and I felt ready. Whoopi Goldberg introduced me effusively. We are thrilled that joining us right now for her very first talk show and live TV appearance since accepting the Democratic presidential nomination, please welcome back, she paused for a long minute, emotional, the next president of the United States. I walked on the stage to the pulsing rhythm of Beyoncé's Freedom, my campaign anthem, a standing ovation from the studio audience, and warm handshakes or hugs from the panelists. Whoopi asked me about the day the president called me, so I related the story of pancakes, the grandnieces, and the upheaval that followed. Then Sunny Hostin recalled Biden's appearance on the show, during which he'd said there wasn't a single thing that he did that I could not do. What do you think would be the biggest difference between your presidency and a Biden presidency, she asked. Well, we're obviously 2 different people, and we have a lot of shared life experiences. For example, the way we feel about our family and our parents and so on. But we're also different people, and I will bring those sensibilities to how I lead. For example, one of the things I know we're going to talk about today is what we do around home health care. I've done a lot of work around violence toward women and children. I care a lot about that. I love our small businesses. I talked warmly about my second mother, Mrs. Shelton, who ran a small daycare business. So the influence of a personal experience will have its impact on a presidency, I said. If only we'd left it there. But Sunny asked a follow-up. If anything, would you have done something differently than President Biden during the first 4 years? I had prepped for that question. I had notes on it. There was the answer I'd given in the debate. I'm not Joe Biden, and I'm certainly not Donald Trump. I had a note that I was a new and different generation. I had prepped to say, but to specifically answer your question, throughout my career, I have worked with Democrats, Independents, and Republicans. And I know that great ideas come from all places. If I'm president, I would appoint a Republican to my cabinet. But I didn't say any of that. I said, there is not a thing that comes to mind. I went on to describe things in our record that I was proud of, such as capping the price of insulin, bringing drug prices down, investing in American manufacturing, and creating 800,000 new jobs in that sector. I had no idea. I just pulled the pin on a hand grenade. I wasn't braced for the explosion that was coming. Stationed at various places around the set, my staff were beside themselves. Political operatives have an eye to see a moment, and I could kick myself for giving the other side that moment. During the commercial break, while I was having a bit of fun with some young students I'd noticed in the audience who were obviously playing hooky, offering to write notes to their teachers after the show, Opal passed me a note from our team, telling me to return to that question and mention that a big difference would be that I would put a Republican in my cabinet. I made that point, but the damage was done. The earlier clip was a gift to the Trump campaign, and they used it in ad after ad to shackle me to an unpopular president. Why didn't I separate myself from Joe Biden? Over the course of the 107 days, I became increasingly aware that people wanted to know there was a separation and that it was a big issue for them. I just didn't realize how big. The way I heard Sunny's question was that it was asking me to be critical of Joe. I've never believed you need to elevate yourself by pushing someone else down. To do so would have been to embrace the cruelty of my opponent. In the moment, I didn't see a way to answer the question without doing that. Trial lawyers have a saying. There are always 3 closing arguments. The one you plan to give, the one you give, and the one you should have given. I lived the adage that afternoon. To me, the difference was evident. Different background, different generation, different career, obviously a different person. But I was still vice president to President Biden. We had 3 months left of our administration. Even after the lack of support from the White House, the debate night phone call, and the MAGA hat debacle, I felt I owed him my loyalty. Had I, in that interview, come up with one area of policy difference, it would have limited the definition of the difference between us to that one thing, rather than my unique perspective on a variety of issues. And it wouldn't have ended there. It would have opened the door to a discussion that is backward-looking rather than forward-looking. There would be a slew of never-ending follow-up questions. Well, apart from that one, how would you have made X or Y decision differently from Biden? Between the president and the vice president, there needs to be a zone of trust, a place where the president can get advice, feedback, and criticism to make a good decision and know that those discussions will remain confidential. Lawyer-client discussions are privileged. Doctor-patient conversations are too. And so, I believe, should be the discussions and arguments, and yes, differences of opinion between the president and vice president. But my campaign team didn't see it that way. David Plouffe was the most outspoken. He felt that someone needed to do an intervention with me, that I needed to get it through my head that this was a real issue. That was when he told me bluntly, people hate Joe Biden. He also said this, you're going to have bad days. You're going to have to keep moving. 2 of the 3 interviews I did that day went off well. Stephen Colbert met me backstage with his wife, and they presented me with their cookbook. He knew my days were long, and with a big smile he said, let's go out and have some fun. Howard Stern was a great interlocutor. We covered very serious ground, but also had a great time, bantering about music, Maya Rudolph's impression of me, and blind dates. And all I could think about that night was the one interview that hadn't gone well. I'm tougher on myself than anyone, but Plouffe was right. I had to keep moving. So that is what I did.
All right, y'all. This is the last.
October 10th.
Sorry. This is the last chapter we're gonna play today, and we're gonna play it tomorrow, Sunday, at 10 o'clock. Any comments, questions on this chapter of the book or day of the book?
I think it was very telling when she said she recognized she didn't create a big enough gap. She didn't create her own. She was just riding that hatred from whether she understood it or not. And now history says she's riding the hatred for Biden, and you are him. Now, everything, and we watched it. Everybody was talking about it every day. It was her dilemma and trying to play team and trying to do that, not recognizing the bigger picture of the animus. Now here you're going to go to bat for this man, president, and you have no idea. How do you get free from that? History says, and she never was able to. And so, to me, it's part of why she said, I got to write this book, because it's like, it's a hell of a dilemma to live in the rest of your life. Like, damn, our whole thing now is you are Biden, and that's it. And how are you going to be any different? And so now it just speaks to the team you on. Man, who you rolling with, because that perception is everything. And that's just what I see she was speaking to right there on those 3 interviews. And that one that rung in her head then and probably still does was where she realized, damn, I just trapped myself, I'm stuck.
You know, when we speak to the concept of legacy, you know, and voting for president is really, some people are just, they're just going to vote party lines. But then there are other people who want to know who you are as a candidate. And for decades, we have been, some people have just been blindly voting party lines, but I think for a long time we've been aching for something different. And that's why, one of the reasons why we were so excited, you know, when Obama came into office, we, you know, once again thought that we were going to get something different. So I think I'm wondering if that's what she understood, is that, you know, I need to create my own legacy, and I don't want for my legacy to be the shadow of Biden. And so, you know, this book is giving us some clarity in terms of, you know, some of the things that happened and what some of the afterthoughts were. I think the most profound thing in this particular chapter for me was the attorney's like motto, or I guess if you would, not motto, but one of the things that they go by is what you should have given, what you gave, and I can't remember what the third one was. So I think this is, at this point, is about her trying to establish a legacy of her own. A lender.
Isn't that the human dilemma too? Like, you're a part of a group, but everybody in that group ain't on the same page you on. So you want to be a part of that group, but you also want to say, this is where I'm at. And I think that's the very human dynamic that comes out of that.
I think I just, have a lot of respect for how much this isn't easy. And it's tough because there's all the things that you want to say or you could say. And then there's all the landmines that you're trying to avoid. And with that question, by trying to avoid one landmine, she stepped on another. So it's just, there's not obvious and easy answers,
Exactly. And so much of life is knowing the right answer. Oh, okay. And then working her way all the way up. I mean, it's not small to be where she's been any point prior to that point in her life, but it's a different game, I think, is what she would be the first to say. It's like, whoa, I think a pause like, ooh-wee. I think that was telling. That last little point we just heard her elaborate was like, obviously something that she's still reflecting on and probably will forever.
I do remember watching that day and thinking, why is Sunny pushing on this? Because she already gave the answer of like, how would you be different? And then I'm like, are they trying, is it like a hint, like you need to go further? But yeah, I wish Sunny wouldn't have done that follow-up.
She was trying to give her an opportunity to correct it. That's a good thing. Now, the follow-up, we can talk about the follow-up. But I think if there's potential for Harris to have knocked the response out of the park the second time, but we got, I would put Republicans in my cabinet, which, I don't know, man.
She said she had a script, and she went off script. And there's a reason for that script. That she must have got caught in the emotion of the moment. And the next president, all the and then somehow she just, that little deviation from the script came back to bite her.
Can we also put it in context of how, and everybody knows that, so apologies, how the slight deviations of our script is absolutely disastrous for Harris, but totally okay for Donald Trump and everybody else.
Right. There's not the same rubric for men and women. There's just not. And maybe that's why a woman can't win. It's not even necessarily that people, I do think there's a lot of misogyny, but it might not necessarily be as much, I just hate women and women can't lead, blah, blah, blah. But just that a woman will always be judged so harshly, there's no way to measure up to how tough that rubric is compared to the one for men.
Well, when you say a woman can't win, and this is going to be very short, there are other nations where there are women leaders. So can you expound?
Yeah, but America is something else, I think. Yeah.
And not only the rubric of men and women, we can't deny the rubric of, it's a rubric of black and white too, or whatever ethnicity.
Right.
In fact, when you put those both together, that's a whole different rubric when they're both present. And I don't know what the answer to handling, and I don't know anybody knows the handling, because what do you compare it to? There's never been a.
What do people think of, because obviously we've talked about this a lot, and it was a big issue. But I've never had this thought before of something she could have said, which is, you know what, I would have used me a lot more. What do people think about that?
They would have tried to spin it negative, but I think that would have been a better, like, okay, tell us more. Like, in what ways? And then that would have, you know, she could have really had that in hindsight. 20. That's that dance of thank you, alumni, everybody, getting me here, and I appreciate it. But now I'm about to go chart a whole new territory. Knowing that the other team, opposers, they're not excited about you charting a whole new territory. They want to win too.
Because I think she talks about this as well, because I feel like basically, you know, you have to be cutthroat. And yeah, she would have had to like just drop Biden like a hot potato and, you know, distance herself as much as possible and then try to ride the wave of that. But the other thing that she talks about is like, will Americans necessarily even accept that from a woman? You know what I mean? Like, it's back to that thing too. Like, a man can do that and, oh, he's tough. But would they even have accepted that? Or it's like, oh, Joe Biden gave you this opportunity and now look how she's behaving. You know, you can just see how every possible avenue you can see all the judgment that would be.
I was saying the same thing. It was cut both ways. It would cut both.
Which was the very reason way back my thought was, is America ready? It has nothing to do with her. At the end of the day, you got to get votes. And I think that's worth studying in a different book, like the Democratic Party decision around that.
I mean, y'all aren't what's the phrase? Whatever the phrase is I'm not sure that we can be confident that Biden wouldn't have crashed out, or Joe Biden, or somebody close to Biden. Like, those people were demanding nothing but loyalty. I think there's the standard that she holds herself up to, but also all of her past, you know, experience with the White House and how they were kicking people out and checking emails and trying to get who was leaking to the reporters, and, you know, like, that's why I don't like those.
You know, to your point, Kimberly, what I saw catapulted her into the conversation was after Joe Biden's debate. Now, here was her dilemma. She went harder for Joe Biden than anybody, right in the immediacy. If you go back to that day, in the immediacy of it, she was the one that went hard, right? And that's when, in the whole Democratic Party, and those that were trying to hold on to Joe Biden for the longest and hold on, it was like, what about her? What about her? I mean, it was that fire. And so, again, I said it earlier, when you work walls start backing away from the fire, you know, it's the only thing that could have possibly, I mean, anything that you do if you lose, you can question and try anything else. You don't know. You can't go back and try it again. But, you know, hindsight is 2020. But even hindsight 2020, you still don't know if something else would have been tried, if that would have even worked.
She said, we did it, y'all. We did it. And then they sent immigrants to her home in about 6 or 8 Greyhounds, y'all, and dropped them off during the holidays. Think about it, bitch? The kids are security. Think about it, bitch?
Oh, this call is being recorded and monitored for quality purposes. Are we done? Yep.
Oh, okay.
Any additional comments, anyone, before we close the
Yeah, maybe just to
I'll
add.
get into the new case protest out here. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Okay, thanks. I'm just thinking about Kimberly's comment, and it's not just, you know, running as a woman and all of the judgment that comes with that, what, you know, how will the American voter take this? How will they take that? But it's also like in the context of all of these, like, you know, powerful men and their egos. She's like, she got Trump on this, you know, you go too far over here, you fall off the cliff on the Trump side. You go too far over here, you fall off the cliff on the Biden side. Like, that's the thing too. And what, not only what the voters would accept, but what even like, you know, Biden was such a strong endorsement, like would accept versus, you know, I do wonder like if like two male politicians, would it be, you know, would there be more of an understanding of like, this is, you know, this is the dirty game of politics or whatever, and more of a respect in that sense versus like, yeah, so it's being a woman with the voters, but it's being a woman like in this, you know, male ego world.
You know, Mala, this whole conversation, not the entire conversation, but when we started talking about going back and forth about her being a woman of color, and I thought about, and whether or not she had teeth, and I thought about the Barbie. Do y'all remember the Barbie speech that America, I can't remember what her last name is.
Yeah,
Ferrera gave. And I felt like what a tight wire balancing act it must be. Because I do think that it's possible for a woman to be president in America. But what is that magic combination going to be? And so I'm just grateful for her having taken this chance, because I just think that it is just making it more and more possible for it to happen. In medicine, when we are trying to figure out a cure or a solution, we talk about ruling things out. Well, it's not this, it's not that, it's not the other. So I just think that as young women look to her and other American citizens, and we reading this book and having the opportunity to discuss it, I think it's putting us one step closer to making it a possibility. I land.
Hey y'all. One thing that really stuck out to me during this session, and I hate to do this because Democrats are bad enough at cannibalizing themselves, but I really, really hate how this whole election played out. And it really takes me back to George Clooney penning that fucking essay about Biden and how he needed to resign or drop out of the race. Nancy Pelosi, Obama, and them all scheming and taking forever to endorse Kamala. Like, it all started off rocky. It started off on some fucking bullshit. And if anything, the Dems should know how to run a vice president. But even when it was Obama leaving and they chose Hillary over Biden because his son died, all of the fucking meddling, that's all butterfly effect shit. Like, all of the fucking meddling that all of these people on the left do is what really be kicking us in our fucking balls. And to listen to Kamala and hear how calculated she actually was, knowing all sides, seeing all sides, and still trying to choose the right decision, and she still couldn't fucking do it. And I'm not blaming her, I'm blaming the Dems and everybody that was in her fucking ear. It just makes me more and more mad. Like, we really do need to chew up the meat and spit out the bones, and I mean the physical people need to be, you know, fucking exiled from the Democratic Party, and we need to fucking start fresh after listening to this shit. This shit made me mad.
But if Clooney hadn't have done that, we'd get Joe Biden in November.
And he would resign and we would have Kamala right now. I'm still die on that hill. I'm going to die on the hill that the old people, James Kleinberg, all the old
guard Dems would have been out there, and we would have had another term of Biden, and right now he would have been like, y'all, I got cancer, I'm going to let Kamala have it. I fully believe that the butterfly effect would have given us that. If George Clooney never said anything, and maybe Biden would have had maybe 2 or 3 less fumbles.
There's not data to support that. The everything that we have seen, we've even heard people who are working at the Biden Super PAC, the Future Forward Super PAC, come out and say that, and those people spend millions and millions of dollars on like top tier polling, say that in their numbers over the summer, he had a single digit chance of winning. And not only would he have lost big, we would have lost way more House seats. I think the Democratic Party ignored how unpopular Joe Biden had been, not just all throughout 2024, but even the year before.
I hear you, but you're discrediting how they had that meeting, or not even a meeting. They had a rally to talk about what he had just done for healthcare, reducing the cost of diabetes medication, insulin, all kind of stuff. I feel like they should have just rode that wave. They should have just kept talking about everything good that they did, and we should be delusional like the fucking Republicans. When Joe was stumbling and fumbling on his fucking words, we should have had Pete Buttigieg and everybody out on Fox, CNN, MSNBC saying that Joe Biden is the sharpest he's ever been. He's the smartest he's ever been. He's perfectly fine. Everything's carrying on normal. And pay attention to how your health care is good and how insulin is low. That's what the fuck we should have.
People don't care about what happened. They care about how it feels. I mean, that's how we got. People care that it looks like Joe Biden is incoherent all the time. And I don't think that you can counteract that by saying, but look at the healthcare subsidies. It wasn't working at that time, is all I'm trying to say.
We weren't delusional enough, and we didn't even try, is what I'm saying. But I hear you, and I don't disagree.
They did try. That's the thing. They did try. They did try.
Might have been what? No, they didn't. Nancy Pelosi and Obama was having secret meetings about Joe, and they admitted to it. The trying sabotage from the.
The trying was them putting him out there to do the early debate. But there's never a debate that early. That was them trying to prove that Joe could do it. And he failed the trial.
Well, again, betting on him, history go back a little bit further. Yeah, Barack chose him for part of the reasons we're talking in this conversation about how Barack could get elected. With the wisdom of what he had to do, Barack, and so then moving forward, now the Democratic Party, they're riding, okay, Biden is in there now and up against Trump, and Trump is just coming as a bull, and has all the backing of the old boy network for sure. And it's like, and so, history will say, hindsight, watching it, and people that watched it go down live, and what happens next. There's what happened next. So it's the lesson. Okay, all the cards were bet on Biden, and so and Kamala knew that, and so she was chosen VP. Okay, so but what's the people? What's the masses? What do people want? Is the thought that whoever the hell you are in leadership, you might want to focus in on that, and opposed to this is how it's always been. It's never worked that way before. If you hold on to that when everything's changing, it might not be the mindset to go into it with. You might want to be more on what's different, case in point, we could point up some names of people, social media, they're out there, and they won, and they're taking on. You might want to take a heed from that if you plan to win moving forward.
One of the things. Greetings. One of the things that I think is important to note, you're right with the social media, but President Obama, he was the one that really showed the importance of social media and how it was done. I really think DNC and the Democratic Party just dropped the ball on this one. I really do. I think they should have kept Biden in. He was face recognition. I think that the spin and social media had them thinking Biden was so old without looking at Trump. and without looking at Project 2025. We are in the throes of it 9 months in, and he hasn't lied. If you want to say everything that he said he was going to do, he's doing it. Now people are saying no King's Day, and what is he doing? We are in a very weakened position. And it was all because I believe very strongly the Dems fumbled the ball. I think they should have or if they were going to pull Biden, they should have done it early enough. 90 days out just left for confusion, fractions in the party, people saying he wasn't ready. Obama didn't win the first debate, but they didn't just pull him.
Yeah, but you like.
Okay, I'll be done. Thank you.
Okay. I don't know why y'all do this. I think that y'all let them tell you what is crazy. Like, it's like they dropped the ball. They did. Bro, we are dealing with a dumb population of people, a racist population of people, and they got their wet dream. I think it doesn't do us any good. And I won't be a part. I'm not about to like shit on a black girl who did her motherfucking hardest, and because she didn't win, we gotta figure out how a way to point it back to her. It was not her fault. Like she did all that she could, and running Biden again, nobody was fucking with him, and he was old as fuck. Like that would have been just like shooting ourselves in the foot. Nigga, we did the best that we could. We lost. Like, and I think the reason we lost is because of all of this. Just with Tim Walz, the same thing that he got up on there and did, that negotiating and seating ground, and what Malibu just did. And I think, all this critical, like, shit, that's why the fuck we lost. Because we think we trying to be, like, smart or whatever by, like, giving them ground when we're just really looking stupid. Stop doing that. And that's what's irritating about the Democratic Party as a whole, is they too smart for their own good. They always trying to be like, yeah, I can see where you're coming from. Stop seeing where motherfuckers is coming from. So, like, stick with your plan, stick to it, and you'll win. But all of this, the Democrats, and I'm going to be critical, them motherfuckers do not do that.
So if I would have been allowed to complete my thought culturally, I would have said that I was for Harris. But you interrupted me before I could get out my final thought. All of that could be true, what you're saying, but given a perspective, people should be able to give a perspective. By, like they said, 2020 is hindsight. Yes, she should have gotten in, but we all know, or should know, in 90 days, it's hard to get a full campaign up. If you're looking at Trump and we're just looking at it critically, he had 2 years or whatever to get whatever spin he was going to get out. She had 90 days. And then they made sure that they attached her to the Biden policy. So no, I wasn't, trying to be smart. I think she should have been in. I think we're all paying the price because she didn't get in.
She makes that point in her book. She had 107 days. He's been running nonstop for 10 years. But just to go back to what Kiana was saying, I think it's true that, and what Sweet was saying, which is like, you have to figure out what the people want. Well, we have a very good system for figuring out what the people want, and it's called a robust primary. And if you have a robust primary, it takes into account everybody's racism and their misogyny and their stupidity. That's all folded into the process, right? And you find out who can win. And I think that's something that the Republicans did do in 2016. The Republican Party did not want Trump, but enough people did. And they had a very robust process. Remember in the debates, what did they have, like 25 people up there? They had a very robust process. They found someone who was popular. But I feel like on the Democratic side, they just tinker a little too much with their primary process, and you're tinkering with the results of what people will actually vote for. Yep. Well, guess what, guys? Listen. I am so grateful that you came out today. We're going to continue the conversation, just not on this particular replay. It has been a great discussion, and I want to save some for later, okay? Because tomorrow we're going to do this again, and I hope you join us again. So if you would, we're gonna transition to another space, and I don't know why I'm getting that feedback. Thank you. So thank you all for coming out. I appreciate you. If you are already a member of the house, you'll be able to just click in that house, and you'll see. I'm going to send a link in there because it's kind of difficult to try to transfer right now with trying to keep the recordings great. So today is Saturday. Thank you for coming out. I'll see you on Sunday, same time tomorrow. Maybe a little later, maybe a little early. I'm not sure. And to stay with us, this is politically correct. Kamala Harris speaks 107 days. I think we are on day. I'm not even sure. We're like, I think we're in the 30th day. I think 31st day. So we'll try to continue, and maybe we can get finished through this book either tomorrow or sometime next week. Thank you for coming out. God bless. Talk to you soon. Yeah, I hear you. That's why I say I'm all over the place, because she's doing a hell of a job not bringing in her true feelings. You know, you get a little piece here and there, and this, like when she's really upset, and she might say, you know, fuck that or fuck this, something like that. Okay, yeah. But I'm talking about when you're riding home on this plane and you're coming from this rally, and you know the one piece about Biden calling her, like what were your true emotions? Like, did you cry? Did you feel like, oh my God, like, do they really want me to win? Do they not understand what I'm up against? Like, I'm fighting this a completely different political battle that nobody has ever fought. I got these people talking about I'm not black. I got these people talking about, I'm a Jew lover, and just all of these different things. And I don't feel supported by the people that should be in my corner. Like, what does that emotion feel like? Like, what are you feeling? I don't hear that. Do you all hear that in the book? Do you hear her, giving that? Or some people say, well, she's professional. Is that the idea, to continuously be professional?
I heard like a couple moments, especially when she did when she was talking about Biden and the fucking MAGA hat. And it's like she'll share what she was thinking in the moment. But I feel like you're kind of right, lady. It's still a little bit it's not all the way unfiltered. You know, it was very like, we were all thinking that, don't take the fucking hat.
Right, like, what is that telling me? But after he took it, how do you feel? How does it feel? You know what I mean? Like, do you see? Okay.
Maybe she's so practiced because she's been in public life basically like from coming out of college or law school. She's had this persona, you know what I mean, or this armor.
100%, I agree. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, I wonder if it's like, this is just her at this point, like this kind of professional persona, or this way of thinking and speaking. And even if she's not gonna, who cares what Biden says at this point, or if she's not gonna run again, it's just like, this is how she speaks.
So, and this is why we are where we are currently right now. You're absolutely correct. But when we were in these spaces and we were having these conversations during the campaign, and you heard a lot of people who were in the middle on the other side, she's fake, she's phony. That gives all fake. Because at the end of the day, you're human. You're not this constant professional person. And the one thing that people did, unfortunately, or fortunately for some, connect with Trump is the fact that he was being real. Regardless whether he was lying or not, they felt like he was being real. And if you can't tell me your emotions and what you're feeling, like, you don't have to completely come out and say, yeah, they being racist towards me and da-da-da-da-da-da. No, by no means necessary. You don't have to call a thing, right? What I'm saying is, at this point in time, when you're writing a book and you have taken the time to sit down and journal day in and day out, but all you're telling me is the optics, that I'm hearing somebody who works in the CIA. I'm hearing a person who works for FBI. You're still in that. You're not stepping out of that. And if you want people to understand who you are, you gotta give them a little bit.
I think the most sort of stepping out she's done has been like cursing on the book tour. Like, she said something like, they're fucking crazy, or something like that, and then everyone's like, oh my God, and people are actually responding really well to it, but I think that's all she's really allowed herself.
Exactly. That's all she's allowed. She's showing the hard side of emotion. Like, come on, what the fuck is wrong with these people? Okay, but at night, what are you feeling? Like, this really hurt me. The fact that I sat here and I traveled and I did this and I did that, and the people didn't take what I was saying serious. I sat here, got the Project 2025. We did a whole daggone skit. For 3 or 4 hours, they went on whatever the DNC. For the whole week, right? They constantly kept coming out, and the people still didn't hear me. I would be trying to ask, what was it that I couldn't give you? Turn it back on the people. Like, what more did you want from me? Are you able to see what I'm saying now? Like, can you see it? Like, I don't hear that voice. Does that make sense? Or no? That don't make sense here? It's okay.
Maybe she just didn't want to write a book like that. She's documenting things.
See, look at this. I don't like this. This app is acting real cuckoo.
Okay.
You got a PTR to even see who on stage. It shows
constantly.
Only 3 of us on
exactly.
stage.
I was like, ain't nobody coming to talk to us. Go ahead. I'm sorry. No, Spirit. Go. You said that's not exactly, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? This is what she chose, and I'm okay with that. But again, if in fact you want to get to another side, to another level, then you have to do something that you're not used to doing. You have to step out of the comfortability that you're in. That's pretty much life.
I don't know. I hope that her tone in this book is an indication that she might be running again. But another thing that I thought about, Patty, when you were speaking earlier, not Patty, First Lady, when you were speaking earlier, was how when y'all said that Trump's been running for 10 years or he never stopped running and she only had 90 days, while they were hashing up Project 2025 or whatever and doing all of that shit, writing up them papers and drafting the legislation, do y'all remember how the Biden administration spent like that whole first year and a half dragging Kamala, talking about how she was being critical of him and the teams aren't aligning, and that was wasted time. And that's what I mean about this fucking butterfly effect, is that the blood was in the water from Joe's inauguration day. Literally. Like, the blood was already in the motherfucking water with the Democratic Party. And I really hate how we can't all be one band, one sound when it comes to certain shit.
I don't know. When he put that hat on, I'm telling you, that would have been the nail in the coffin for me. From that point on, I'd have said, okay, you know what? I see you. I got it. Okay, let me separate myself from you, because clearly you don't care about my feelings. I'm constantly up here caring about your feelings, along with trying to run this, along with trying to win this election. And then you're going to go and put that hat on your head. No. That's when I was no, we're not doing what Biden was doing. No, I didn't agree with it. This is how we running this ship here. Yeah. Because these people, they were constantly against her. And that's how I feel. Like, everything that she's writing, she's speaking without speaking. She's telling the story without confirming the story.
Yeah, she's kind of saying, like, well, here's what happened. You draw your own conclusions.
Correct.
Well, we want to hear your conclusions.
No, but I think this is ultimately good for the party and the country to have a day-by-day analysis of what the fuck went wrong. And once you start putting too many feelings in there, it kind of can move the integrity of the analysis if it's just intended for analysis and for forward thinking and to make better decisions in the future.
That's a good take too. Thank you. Thank you for the balance. I can see that. Because a lot of times, you know, when people do tell all books, they start coming from a complete eye perspective. And then it's just like, okay, what can I believe? What can I not believe? But in this, the way she's telling the story, it just sounds like, you know what? She's just writing down what's happening day by day and just going by the story, you know, and telling it from that perspective. I still feel like she could add a little bit more of her feelings about it.
This also may or may not stem from, you know, her time as a prosecutor. She's literally laying out everything in detail, almost like a trial.
The facts of the case. Yeah, and that's why I'm looking for the crescendo.
Well, maybe the last couple lines is like, you know what? Fuck these motherfuckers. Fuck them all. Flips the table, and America gets what it deserves. Peace.
I hope she doesn't say that. Now, that would definitely be very damning for her career, period. I'm not by no means suggesting any of that. I'm just saying open up a little bit more and let the people in just a little bit in regards to how you were feeling in some of these instances. You know, okay, Bolts comes off the stage, you know, he calls her and she said all the right political things. But how are you really feeling, sis? Like, really tell me. Did you want to cuss him out? Did you want to hit him upside his head? Like, you know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about, Spirit. I'm just, even if she said it in a jokingly way, give me some type of personality. Hey, Steve. Hey, Pierre. Thank you for joining. Jeremy, I haven't seen you in a couple of days.
Well, you really have to PTR to see who the hell's up on stage.
Exactly. I keep trying to tell you. Feel free. We're talking about the book. We just got finished listening to some more of Kamala Speaks, or the 107-day book that she wrote. And we're just having a conversation about that whole.
I haven't had a chance to read her book. It's on Audible, right?
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
I'm about to get into that.
It's on Clubhouse too.
We have the replays on, so if you want the commentaries with it, you know, you can listen.
You can fast forward through certain people too.
Mm-hmm. But yeah. Anyway, is there anything else, Mala? Because you always have good questions. Well, sometimes. Just kidding.
No, I'll let you know if I think of anything.
Don't I agree? Fast forwarding through people is the best part of replays.
Talking about Gavin Newsom. Okay, let me speed up on that.
Gavin Newsom. Yeah, that was a topic. I'm glad that we didn't go down that rabbit hole.
Thank you for moderating well.
Could be on the same ticket. Oh, there's ways around it. I was like, please don't nobody ask the question. Just please be quiet. Don't say nothing. Not on the recordings. What? I left. Okay. And look, now we can have a conversation because we're not on recording.
Yeah, by the way, I just came back from the No Kings. I was there for about an hour.
Okay, how was it?
It was big. I mean, it was big, and guess what? It was civil. There was some chanting, marching, good signs, whatever. It was fine. I didn't see...
any music?
You know, a little bit of, like, marching band drumming, some, you know, clapping, call and response, things like that. But it was pretty... it was pretty chill. I mean, it was a good turnout, at least where I was. And yeah, I mean, that's all. I mean, it's so silly. The Republicans kept mentioning it all the time. It's an anti-America speech. I saw so many fucking American flags and all this stuff, and I think that's the right optics that you want. You have thousands of people out in the street, you know, with a lot of American flags and saying no kings. Like, I don't know, there's not much to fucking analyze from there. It's not anti-American.
Okay, so was it over or you just left?
No, my mother's actually taking the train in town, so I have to get her.
Okay.
So that's why I had to leave. It's still going right now. It's not far from where I live, so I can hear like the helicopters and like a little bit of the chin.
So are the police present? Right, they're there.
Yeah, they were on the side on the sidewalks, just chilling out, talking to people.
Okay. So
yeah, at least where I was. At least where I.
So no National Guards are there.
I mean, there may be, but I was in a section in the 20s and 30s where, because it started in Times Square, I think on like 47. So if that was like the bulk of it and where it started, I don't know if the National Guard was there. I was there for a certain section, and that was it. But it seemed fine, no National Guard. I mean, the police were just chilling.
So Pat says, I just arrived to my protest, so far looking calm, getting ready to get out of the car and let my voice be heard. Okay. All right.
There you go, Pat.
So I just realized what would have been the perfect answer to that question from The View. Because I checked the dates, and she went on The View October 8th, and Biden wore that hat on September 12th. That's what she should have said. I would have never put that damn hat.
The MAGA hat.
Biden went to Pennsylvania, and there was a guy in a MAGA hat, and then the guy was like, oh, do you remember your name? And Biden was like, what? No, I don't remember my name. I'm slow, like laughing with him. I think the guy called him an old fart, even very disrespectful. He was like, Biden was like, well, you know a thing or two about that. And then I think Biden tried to give him his like presidential seal hat, and then the guy gave him his hat, and then everyone was like, put the hat on, put the hat on. So he puts the hat on, the MAGA hat. And this is while Kamala is running, like I said, in early September. So, yeah, that's what I think that would have been the perfect thing to say.
God. I do want to say this because I wanted to say this in the last room because I know it was a discussion about, oh, they should have kept Biden in and all of that. I may be the only one on the stages that actually saw him the next day speak publicly. This is literally the day after the debate. And I was hoping that it would be like a 180 from the debate, but it really wasn't. And it really made me wonder. This was late June, by the way. And it made me really feel, oh my God, I don't know if this guy is going to get through the next couple months of campaigning. There's no way. I watched him do his little old man shuffle up to the stage, speak a little bit without energy. And mind you, there's a lot of other people there. It's like Elton John. It's a big stage. There's a whole thing. And it was just so underwhelming, and it made me freaking nervous. I'm like, I don't know. I don't think he can pull this off. I don't think he can do the messaging. I don't know if he can do the campaigning. I was really, really worried. It was not just the debate. I mean, this is like things that people were definitely saying, and I saw it like I was probably, 50 feet away from the guy.
He also had COVID at that time. I'm not sure if people knew the next day, but I completely agree with you. I think even if he didn't have COVID, he did not have what it took to run a successful campaign. But even beyond that, the run-up to the election did not do what necessary to position him or Kamala to win. And that's my Monday morning quarterbacking. Donald Trump and the machine
of disinformation had been running around the clock for 4 years straight without any real coordinated strategy to stem it or to push back. Like all the pushing back that I saw was really coming from rooms like this, one-off people, podcasters, but no coordinated campaign to my satisfaction to end all this. In fact, a lot of it was left completely unchallenged. There's no way that Joe Biden should have been so incredibly unpopular. If people knew what was being done, he wouldn't have been unpopular. I remember just wondering, where is this man? You never saw him. You know, he wasn't doing too many speeches. He was doing the job. I'm not mad at that, but I'm just saying you have to talk to the people. You have to capture the people's hearts. And I don't think that they made any attempt to do that at all. So by the time they had this debate, the rumors and the outright lies being told about his condition were so fierce that that debate made it look like, oh, Donald Trump was telling the truth all along. He really is half dead. So it wasn't just that he completely, fell apart during the campaign, but it served as proof to what was being said. And that is a lot harder to untangle. And he said something in the following days that made me realize, oh, he just does not get it. He said, well, the campaigns don't start really going in full swing until after Labor Day. Like, what?
Dumb.
You're below, you're in single digits, right? This man, the other dude, has been having rallies all day, every day, practically, created his own social media platform to spin his lies. But you think that, you're going to start campaigning after Labor Day and win? Child, I'm done.
Steve, I saw you unmuted.
Lady. Hi. Is Lady still here? I can't see my assets.
Yes, I'm here. Hey, Uncle Steve.
Hey. We heard the question from the last speaker. Where has Biden been? We also heard the statement that he got COVID. Well, my understanding, and please y'all fact check me if I'm wrong, that 2 weeks prior to the debate and up until the debate, he was pretty much in seclusion. I don't know if it was Camp David, but he was with his campaign working on the debate. He basically was holed up in a location working on preparing for the debate 2 weeks in advance. So how he got COVID and suffered from it during the debate, I don't know.
I mean, the people there could have gave it to him. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's easy. That's an easy answer. I mean, Donald Trump got COVID the same way and gave it to Chris Christie while he was training him for his debate. So, I mean, I don't really understand that question. It's very easy to get COVID.
All right, then. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Fight back, Steve. Fight back.
I got no need or reason to fight. No, Scotty, I love you, baby, in more than a clubhouse way. I love.
Everybody loves Scotty. You're like the only person who's not hated on this time.
Oh, Lord. Don't say that. I got a target on my back. It's all good. Love you.
Scotty crazy.
Scotty's not hated until he belabors the point.
Me and Scotty go way back to season 1.
Amen.
But talking about the protests today, I'm really happy to see that people are speaking up. I also want to urge anybody who is thinking about going to it to please go home before sundown. That is when the nonsense begins. Oftentimes, it's not done by the people who are demonstrating or protesting, but people come to cause problems. So you're having this peaceful thing going, everybody's happy, everybody's focused, and then, the agitators come and start breaking windows. And it really doesn't take much to get a crowd to riot. And so I pray for completely peaceful demonstrations, but history has proved that's not usually going to be the case for things of this magnitude. And we are dealing with a government that is just praying for an excuse to use violence against citizens. So be careful. Stay together with people. If you see nonsense popping off, leave or get a safe distance and videotape it. But I'm proud of people for standing up and saying, okay, I'm done.
Yeah, especially that it's decentralized, where it's 2,500 around the country. I really feel like it should be in the same vein and spirit of the Women's March. We remember that, and how it was a call to arms for everyone to go to Washington, everyone to go to D.C. Yeah.
The Women's March, if you're referring to the Me Too movement, was around the world. It was not just confined to the country.
The No Kings protests are happening in different countries.
Yeah.
What are you at the protest now? Did you want to give us live feedback?
I am in spirit. I'm pulling up all the links right now.
You're not there?
No. Are you at home is my question. Are you in your apartment building?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm at home. And I'm willing to go, but I don't have the money to go, Steve. I don't know if you have the money to go for me, but...
I have, to answer your question...
You want to send me the...
To answer your question, I have the money to go for everybody in this room if I wanted to...
I know that's right.
Okay, Papa Stan. Okay,
As
Daddy.
much as I love being called Papa and Daddy, it's Uncle. Thank you.
You looking for a sugar niece, Uncle?
Contact me privately. I don't think it's Hilton, PM me right now. I respond to all.
Oh, Steve.
I might fuck around and try it.
Don't tell me it was a good time.
Oh my word. So you're not out there? I thought you was out there.
I don't have the fucking money. You got the money for me? Give me the gas.
You gotta pay to go to the protest?
Yes, you need gas. I ain't got no fucking friends.
It's free to attend.
He got his priority.
Travel. Where's the money going?
Yeah, I mean, a bus ride must cost at least $3.
Y'all want me
to that strawberry?
You want me to vote for you?
That strawberry alone is worth the bus ride.
I'm just saying, you have all this talk and this smoke. Why are we talking about this? I'm thinking that you're out there or something. I thought you wanted us to get to you so that.
Lady, you don't see what's happening here.
What happened?
Ain't nobody out there, so he's trying to get everybody gassed up so that they'll go out there because ain't nobody out there. Okay, I'm telling you. There's nobody out there. People want to make it seem like there are millions of people riding in the streets. Come on.
Are you there's no one there?
Where?
Are you there to know that there's no one there?
Scotty was just at one. He said there was plenty of people.
Somehow Adams is everywhere to know that no one is everywhere.
I drove from one end of Los Angeles and back to the other, and I didn't see nobody out there. Traffic was actually amazing.
That's traffic in LA amazing.
I am in Los Angeles. They are expecting about 200,000 people minimum
around the country, my crystal ball, and again, my crystal ball has been wrong, between 5 and 10 million people.
About what time they supposed to be doing this? So early in LA right now.
It's 11 o'clock.
Yeah, it's 11.
Yes, it's 11.
That's early.
Yeah.
What time y'all usually get the party started over there?
12 noon. They're expecting a couple 100,000 people in downtown LA. Come on.
The answer is the party in LA starts about an hour after it starts.
There you go.
Because of all the traffic, and I'm telling you, traffic was great. Traffic's good right now.
Hasn't started yet.
You're lying.
So who are you rooting for? Clippers? Trump?
I'm rooting for myself. Like both sides have lost their damn mind.
Okay, there you go. There's the answer.
What's this clubhouse room slippers that you're talking about in the chat?
They were calling Lisa and 420 Lounge low IQ, and then when I was sitting in there and anonymous, they were bashing Lisa and Patty. Like it was pretty messy, which I don't understand that, because it's one thing to be on the opposite side of the island, to opposite side of opinion, but I feel like Patty and Lisa have allowed people with opposing opinions to have more dignity and respect in these spaces than they have allowed over in their spaces. So it's just very interesting to hear them crying and complaining about the fact that they weren't included. Lisa and Patty were not inclusive enough, according to them.
What? Well, let me give you Monica. I'll give you the city. Because they have been sending spies over here from different rooms, and then going back and saying, "Oh, it's just the rejects from our room." When their rooms have like maybe, on a day, maybe about 15, 20 people.
I was going to say, when was the last time Healthy Debates held a room? When was the last time Healthy Debates held a room?
I mean, when you want to think about it, hold a room. Like, you got Pepe to open that house. Like, he can't even hold on to an account. So when you want to talk about rechecks, like, what are we talking about? I think the people have
run Healthy Debates. He runs unhealthy debate.
Yeah, I was in there earlier. It was
like I said, when was the last time an actual Healthy Debates room was held?
Nobody's talking about Healthy Debates, Steve.
Oh, so I just heard that. It was hallucination. Okay.
No, it's called, that house is called Unhealthy Debates.
Exactly what I just said.
Okay, moving on. We're going to sit down.
Yeah, no, let's move on. We don't have to talk about my dementia,
Steve, you don't have dementia.
Anyways, I'm seeing DC showing up. I've seen Philly show up, Boston showing up. They've been reporting it in all mainstream news sources, NBC, Stephen Colbert. That says scan a QR code, find a local listing near you. Tons in Southern California. But my only concern is that maybe this movement has already been compromised by the Democratic Party, and it doesn't really have that much.
You don't even want it to do well, so what the fuck are you talking about?
I want to pull him out by his ankles today. That's what I fucking want. I don't want to fucking play games. I feel like we're playing games like eating popcorn.
What I'm thinking about, I don't understand. Like,
well, it's decentralized. Why are we making all these satellites? Why aren't we all, like the Women's March, like the Me Too movement, collectively marching towards DC? We're acting like we're too far away, like we're in Europe, we're in Italy, like to actually make any. No, we're fucking here. We're outside. It's gonna get cold.
You won't even drive.
I like the fact that you say we. So let me ask you, since you feel you're part of we, what have you done to contribute? What have you done to contribute?
I've done this since 2011. Steve. That's what I've done.
Okay, so what if I'm not talking 15 years ago? What have you done today to contribute?
I've been opening rooms. I'm trying to join you.
So you've been talking on Clubhouse. That's good. You should be commemorated. What else? Anything else?
I'm asking for you to give me gas.
Okay, so except for opening rooms on Clubhouse and begging your Uncle Steve for money, you haven't done
Well, it's more.
No one was begging. That was good. That was a good line, regardless.
It was requested. Yeah. No one's begging there.
Begging your Uncle Steve for money took me out.
I mean, Uncle Steve does have a point. I mean, if you feel so strongly about the cause, I mean, Big Five Sporting Goods, they got bullhorns. You know, instead of hollering into this mic, I mean, maybe go out there and start pounding pavement and holler out there. Now, here's what I will say. You know, I would like to see protests on both sides, okay? Because I do believe that people should get their thoughts out and people should express themselves. I just don't want people blocking the street. That's my only point of contention. Y'all can do what you want, just don't block the damn freeway.
We'll see about it. I don't know.
The problem with what you just said, unfortunately, is that the Republicans don't need to protest.
So why are there Republicans protesting in Beverly Hills?
Really, what are they protesting?
Yeah, they've been protesting in Beverly Hills.
My question is,
there have been protests in Beverly Hills.
What are they protesting?
Because it's a counter protest. Okay, so a rally in what form? You have a bunch of people in a rally, pickup trucks with flags screaming at people. That's a rally.
No, are you saying they're protesting today against?
I did not say today.
That's why I asked you. What are they protesting? Are you deaf?
I said that they have been protesting. Maybe if y'all would shut the fuck up long enough and try to have some gotcha moments and listen to what people are saying, because you won't shut up long enough to let me finish my sentence.
No amount of science.
Everybody's trying to have a gotcha moment, but y'all aren't listening to hear an answer. Y'all are listening to have a gotcha moment. That's part of the problem. That is part of the problem.
No amount of silence could ever get you a gotcha moment, dude.
What's going on? You said it was a counter protest, which leads me to believe.
So you heard what I said because you were listening.
Yeah, so a counter protest to no kings would be pro kings.
You're right.
Pro-fascism.
So, we've learned, or I've learned since I live in Los Angeles, that the Republicans are protesting in Beverly Hills, and I have no idea what they're protesting.
Make my fucking pot, you fucking nigga. Shut the fuck up. Get back and make it pot, you fucking.
What's that? Who said that?
I gave you one guess.
I got him. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Well, it's nice to know that the Republicans are protesting in Beverly Hills. I'll make sure not to drive there today. It would be nice to know what they're protesting, but that's okay.
They weren't protesting there in April. They weren't protesting there in September. They weren't protesting there in July.
For what?
Okay, again.
What?
Okay, you said for what, and then you cut me off as I'm talking. Are y'all okay?
You don't answer the fucking question, you motherfucker! Jesus!
Okay, everyone take a deep breath. Take a deep breath.
I need y'all to breathe. It is Saturday. I need y'all to relax.
That's right. You see, me, and again, I'm not speaking up against anybody else. I ask a basic question. I concentrate on the issue. I did not talk to the gentleman about how old he was, about his sexuality, about the color of his skin, about his sexual orientation. I simply asked, what are the Republicans protesting? And then, of course, we got the following done.
And nobody accused you of bringing up any points of contention of identity. That's some bullshit that you're trying to do to, again, have a gotcha moment. So in response to your question, in April, it was a pro-Trump rally with no specific aim. In September, it was a vigil basically advocating for people to be canceled due to the backlash of Charlie Kirk. Do you want me to list any other motives for you, Steve? Or do you want to make some other backhanded comment of some shit that nobody even fucking mentioned?
Well, the answer to your question is, although I didn't attack you before, I will kind of attack you now by answering no. Quite frankly, I would rather not hear you speak again.
Uncle Steve, why are you causing smoke? What's going on? You trying to ruffle people's feathers? Stop it.
Your command is my wish.
Isn't it? Which is my command?
Then
Listen, I don't know what's going on with it, but it's Saturday and he's having a good time, okay? That's what we're going to say.
You're on fire, Steve.
So, yeah, I think the issue with calling it a protest is when you want to express your objection or your disapproval. So it implies that you're in opposition to something. So I don't know how you can come out in opposition.
Oh, wait a minute. They're in San Francisco right now. Are they out on the beach? They got no kings. Like, they're all lined up to do this no kings and a box kind of thing. So that's in San Francisco. DC, they're out there. Wait a minute, is Bernie in DC? Yeah, Bernie is in DC.
Yeah. Bill Nye spoke. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. It's going to be a beautiful day.
I just saw a video of a protest at the Villages in Florida, which looks pretty cool. So if you know those folks in Florida, that giant elderly community, I'm not sure if it's 30 or 50,000 people that live there, but they're all lined up on the side of the road with their signs and everything. It's actually a good sight because they definitely lean much more conservative.
Even a lot of the MAGA voters were asked, like, if Trump, tries to go for a third term, or tries to say, like, well, the Constitution, the 2 terms thing is about 2 consecutive terms, even though it doesn't say consecutive or whatever. Would you support that? And a lot of people wouldn't. First of all, they say he's just trolling, like it's not serious. Like, learn to recognize a troll. But then, a lot of people are like, well, if he really tries to do that, no, I wouldn't support that.
Spirit, do you actually believe the videos coming out of the Villages?
I mean, I posted one from, I think it was the Bulwark.
I guess I'm still a little hyped because they had all those videos coming out when they were supposedly supporting Kamala. They had like the little signs on their little go-karts and everything, and then we see what happened. So I'm a lot hesitant. I think they do it for the social. Yeah, I think they do it for the social aspect.
Well, the point is that people are getting out there even at the Villages. So it doesn't matter what the percentage is. It's that people are just getting out because they actually give a shit. And although the place is definitely more conservative, the fact that it looks like hundreds and hundreds are out there on the side of the road, that's a good thing, regardless.
Seriously, I'm going to put a link in the chat of Bill Nye addressing and comparing this moment in time to the Vietnam War era.
Okay. The one in San Francisco, it says no kings, yes 50. So,
Yes, 50 me.
50 is for the redistricting. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, too much gerrymandering to even hesitate.
Chicago is thick. They thick out in Chicago.
Boston's thick too.
Yeah, Boston was pretty thick.
And that was the start of the revolution. So.
Oh, people really showed up. Oh, wait a minute. We have a new person. Is it Elena? How do you say her name?
Elena.
Okay. Sorry, Elena. You said you were there?
I just got back.
You just got back. So, how was it?
It was wonderful. It was probably the largest crowd of all the King's Days they've had recently. And my throat's a little scratchy from screaming. So, yeah, it was amazing. The turnout was incredible. Yes, many of us boomers were there because we understand and appreciate our country and remember things from the past. So that's all I'm going to say. But yes, we were there. And I did post a picture from the event. But I've done the downtown event in Chicago. This time I did not go downtown because there was a threat of rain. But downtown was amazing. A lot of the people from the suburbs went downtown. So, and the Villages is about 35% left-leaning, possibly, something like that, in case you were wondering.
Oh, that's good to know. Thanks.
You said 35% was left-leaning?
It's like 60, 40, 60, I don't know. It's something to that effect. What?
Janice, you was out there?
I have stats.
No, I just drove by.
It says here about 14,500 to 20,000 people who would be counted as Democrats live in the Villages. And the Villages population, 79,000.
I mean, does that surprise anybody? You have a Democratic platform that's, protecting old people. So, I mean, why would it be shocking that, the majority of them are out there protesting and upset?
What is your problem? Did you come in here to agitate and have attitude?
I'm agreeing with you, and that's agitating?
I mean, your tone is like very antagonistic.
Syndrome.
Haven't seen you forever. Hey.
First Lady Patty, how are y'all doing today?
Good afternoon. Thank you for flying with politically correct skies. Trent, you got some explaining to do, but come on up. Oh, I thought hand raising was off. Sorry.
It's funny about King. He just got back from Chicago. That's a lot of beautiful things.
Explain it. I don't know if I explain it. Yeah, our protest down here has got about 1,000 people on it. At it, it's on the main road, which is Bicentennial. There's snipers on the rooftop. There's only one skyscraper, and there's two. There's only two major buildings over 7 stories in McAllen. So there's snipers on those rooftops. So for here, because of the presence of National Guard and Border Patrol and what have you, it's actually kind of a large protest to have 1,000 people on the street. But it's fairly significant. But what I was putting in the chat is the Real Clear Politics aggregate poll came out recently, and it's showing Trump at a 55% disapproval rating, and it's an aggregate poll, so it's taking all the poll averages, good and bad, like Rasmussen sitting in it, putting PDAC and all of them together, and it's showing a 55% disapproval rating. And for Trump to be at this point in the presidency, 8 months in, is significant, because usually you're at least at 50%. But once you get over 57, 58%, that's when it starts to affect your down ballot races, especially in the House and the Senate, obviously. But 60%, if you start to see an average poll aggregate where a disapproval hits 60%, very, very serious problem for Republicans. So to see an aggregate poll that declining at that rate is pretty significant.
So you just come in here and talk about what you want to talk about, basically. Is that right?
Let him report from the front lines. Everybody else gave their report.
Okay, report. Leave out the analysis.
Trenton, do you think that I could use your voice for a reel?
I have an avatar. My voice, my likeness and voice are already duplicated.
Okay, that's fine. Mine won't be long. I just need you to say what you just said like a few minutes ago. I just need like 30 seconds of that. And it'd be good. Yep.
Thank you, baby.
Better say it again?
No, not right now.
Spirit.
And then end it with thank you, baby. Yeah, that'd be great.
Thank you, baby.
No, you say thank you, baby, and then you guys have a good night.
Hey, I just got to say one thing. Now, I don't know if you're a Cowboys fan, but I got some folks down here in Dallas that, if you want to wear that outfit down to Arlington to come watch the Cowboys, they would, because you got on the colors. All you need is the hat and some boots, First Lady. I got some brothers that love to meet your acquaintance with that on. I'm just saying.
So what if folks? Oh God, the Uncle Trent vibes. You were doing something good.
I'm just saying. I'm at 44, and I got a couple of friends. They're getting divorced. They're looking for that second go around, and the second time is the charm. You know what I'm saying? So
what else is going on the grounds? I thought you were reporting.
Shit, I'm not down there. My friends are down here telling me I can see the protest. There's 1,000 people out there. But I'll be able to tell you more tonight because I'm going to a gala tonight that's going to have a lot of the political leaders down here for Dancing with the Stars, McAllen. And I'll be able to talk license mayor and the county judges, and I'll get a feel for how people are feeling because it's the who's who down here. I can tell you that the job creation is the biggest problem down here. We're starting to have some empty homes, obviously because of the people who have had to leave, and it's going to affect our tax base down here. Some people are, like I said, happy with the border enforcement, but job creation is a real problem across the United States, and that's why I'm looking at this aggregate number, because if he's at 55% now, when we get to December, if the job creation number is not over 150,000, we're not creating enough jobs to sustain on the year for the populace. We've already got way too many people on filing unemployment benefits, plus the government shutdown and the elimination of government jobs. It's the perfect storm to have to go into next year and get matter within the House and the Senate race.
All right. So what's the event you're going to? Is it called Line Dancing for Fascism? Never mind.
All right. Thank you for joining. Today is Saturday, and I believe it is October the 18th.
So it's called Dancing with the Stars, and it benefits the Diabetes Association down here. So
that's beautiful.
All the county commissioners, judges, lawyers, the major lawyers down here, doctors participate in it. I'm going because of my wife. But down here, county commissioners and county judges, because they control the ports of entry, they're very, very powerful, kind of like aldermen in the Northeast. So they have a really good feeling of what's going on both sides of the aisle and how the populace is feeling.
All right. So it is 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time where I am. I don't know where you are, but guess what? I greet you with love, joy, peace, and happiness. I'm grateful that you joined us today. We are talking about the No Kings We just recently had a space where we were going over the 107 days with Kamala Harris, and we're having a conversation. Some people have come up and talked about, that they've been there, that the protest was peaceful, people were singing, just a great vibe, chanting, and I believe King, if I'm not mistaken, are you on stage still, King? Are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Can you tell us from your point of view what you experienced today? Were you going or you already been?
I've already been.
Okay.
It started in the suburbs, at least. It started at 11 o'clock this morning. And I was there, I think about 100 people. Can you illustrate? What did you say? Oh, I said you're in the matrix, but you sound good now. Yeah, I'm not in the loop. So in the loop, there were thousands of people. I posted a link in the chat, basically the news covering the major march downtown. But that's a whole, like getting downtown in a situation like that, I wasn't trying to fight with them people. So I just went to one of the local, because they're happening all over the city. Yeah, and people had their signs out. I didn't have no sign or nothing. I never do, right? This is not my first march. I think that this was more pedestrian. And when I say that, all I saw was suburbanites, right? White folks, some Hispanics. But I'm sure the downtown things were like everybody was there, like all of the real people that you see in the activist community, that always show up when there's a war, when people are being kidnapped. The people who've been showing up the whole time and who are like really locked in to what's going on in the activist community in Chicago. But I think it was a success, and there was no beef, no confrontation. So it was cool. Wise Guy, did you want to share your experience from today? Wise Guy? Okay. Hey, Devon. Thank you for joining. I'm so sorry, guys. I see you guys popping in, popping out. Something got going on, yo. Fuck. Okay. No, check this out, though. No, listen. No, listen, baby girl. You gotta listen. My thing is this. I think that everybody, hey, Kamala name keep coming up. Why people saying her name too? Is if she good. She just as bad as that. She just as bad as that nigga. Oh, I thought he was at a no case protest. I'm sorry, you guys. Right. That's in the mood. I thought he was wise. Yeah, it is. I don't know. Hey, Devon. Check this out. You walking out, bro. You in the matrix. Bro, you in the matrix. We can't hear you. Breaking up bad. Maybe you should go somewhere where you got a better signal. But I was saying good afternoon. I thought I heard Haitian. What's going on, my brother? Patty. Going on to all the mods, everybody. Happy Saturday and no King's Day. That's right. Happy Saturday. I just want to apologize to the people. We are not kicking you out. I hope you know that this is a glitch. I think Clubhouse is making some big changes. I don't know what kind of updates they have going on, but I suspect there's something going on in their development and uploading, whatever. But stay tuned. Just keep coming on back. But yeah, Haitian, you were going to say something? Hey, CEO. No, I was saying what up. How you feeling? All right.
That's good.
How you doing?
Thanks. I'm wonderful, thank you. So, large crowds expected to turn out in more than 2,500 protests across the United States, all in result of No Kings protesting against Trump. So, it looks like this is going real peaceful. Do you think we can keep the peace going? Or do you think it's going to turn?
I think there'll be violence somewhere. And not necessarily the protesters initiating it. You know, the mysterious people who come with the bricks. Shut the fuck up with that shit, Water, you dumbass.
I agree. It's bigger than No King's Day at this point because you have actual supporters of this man that are not getting paid. We have huge delays at our airports. But yeah, I heard that some of the, I believe, TSA workers are getting, if you're on direct deposit, I think Chase or one of the banks are actually lending them their payroll until the Don is over, and then they're gonna have to repay the banks. My family member of mine just traveled the other day, 4 hours at JFK, 4 hours to go to Atlanta because the lines were so backed up because people are furloughed, meaning the TSA workers. So people are going to join, I feel, these protests because they have their issues not only with him trying to be a king, but with the shutdown. Supporters are not like, you know what, this is not what I voted for. I just saw today he's now blaming Chuck Schumer, saying that they want to give health insurance to people that have been, you know, the same old lies, released from insane asylums, released from jail. And we know that more than not, these people did not, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but we know it's not true, right? We know it's not true that insane asylums were not really unleashed on us. Jails were not. There are some cases, yes, but the majority of the people that came into this country were not from insane asylums on rapists and drugs.
Yes, they was, bro. Yes, they fucked up. What that man?
Can I finish speaking, please? You can go. You can go when I'm done. You can go when I'm done.
What are you laughing?
Okay, can I finish? I don't know why you're so triggered right now, but I'm almost done, and you can have it. I mean, all you got to do is read. You know, you can read and see who actually.
I seen shit on video.
I'm not done. I'm not done. You can go when I'm done. Okay, you can ask the farmers that have no one to work the land because the workers are scared, right? That don't sound like killers.
That's kids.
Those are farm workers. Okay, this man is ruining the economy. We can't sell corn. There's no one to sell corn to. Ask the soybean farmers right now that are asking for another bailout because they can't sell their soy. I mean, the list goes on and on. But you want to co-sign the fall of our nation?
For one, listen, this nigga saying that people wasn't coming over here, yo. They saying they wasn't ripping people and doing up. Y'all ain't be saying them people coming over here, kicking the niggas' doors and shit like that. That's only the few videos you seen. Man, I got a video right now.
We're going by videos.
Well-known term.
We're going by videos. I can make a video for it now.
Don't know me, don't worry about it.
I can make a video for it now.
Information from videos. He ain't say it like that. Basically what the nigga said. Basically said, I'm gonna use the direct word. He said, you don't know me, don't worry about it. You don't know who I am. And niggas looked him up. Nigga, well-known term. Who the fuck? This nigga crazy. You don't know who them niggas. Listen, all right, so go on Mexico right now. Listen, go in Mexico right now and try to cross over there right now. You doing that for anything and go over there, go to any different country. Why? Some laws and regulations. Why the fuck a nigga just crossing over there? What the fuck is that? Females and kids is getting kidnapped. Why is my video? I realize that shit. Is that your evidence, brother? Video? Man, my nigga, man, listen. No, I'm talking to that man. What's your evidence? What you talking about? Come Come on, yo. Bro, it's females and kids is getting. Where you getting that?
Hold on. Where you getting your information from?
Bro, everybody knows this, yo. Everybody knows this.
Not only that, they're eating the cats and the dogs.
This shit out. TikTok. Yo. Yeah, where's it from, bro? Going down.
They're eating the pets. They're eating the
Russia. I come from Russia. Them niggas coming from China.
They're eating the cats. They're eating the baskets.
They come from different places, bro. You don't know where you is, nigga. You don't know these people.
I told you, MJ. I know who you live.
Nigga, go do that shit in that country. You wanna go? I guarantee you, man, they gon' look.
Garcia
As long as you follow the facts, as opposed to just the theories, right? What I'm saying is, let's discuss these issues more intelligently. I haven't heard that from you, MJ, and to some extent, Betty, you either, right? I'm just saying, with all due respect, I hear you saying.
Stop jumping in. Go ahead, finish.
I hear you saying that America hasn't benefited the island, but it's not about the political party. It's about the system, the imperialism, and a lot of other issues, but it's not about the political party necessarily, because the Democratic Party, to me, has made a lot of attempted progress for the island of Puerto Rico. I have a lot of friends in Puerto Rico, for what it's worth. The two other points really quick I wanted to make was we need to do a better job of understanding how bills are made, and to the point that someone made earlier, that we have 3 equal